On the foggy night of September 17th, 1788, deep in the Carpathian Mountains near the town of Karánsebes, the mighty Austrian army was setting camp. They were preparing for a decisive confrontation with the powerful Ottoman forces. But what unfolded next wasn't a glorious battle against a foreign enemy. Instead, it became one of history's most bizarre and unbelievable military disasters, as chaos erupted from deep within their own ranks, turning friend against foe in a night of utter confusion. The incident began with a small group of Austrian hussars serving as scouts who crossed the Timish River. Instead of finding the Ottoman army, they encountered a group of Romani traders who offered them schnapps for a good price. The scouts bought a few barrels and started drinking. Soon after, another group of scouts, this time infantrymen, arrived. They demanded a share of the alcohol, but the drunken hussars refused, even setting up makeshift fortifications around the barrels. A heated argument broke out, and in the escalating tension, a single shot was fired. That one gunshot tore through the night and plunged the entire Austrian army into chaos. Back in the main camp, soldiers were startled awake. In the disorienting darkness and thick fog, different groups reacted with alarm. Some soldiers, hearing the shot, began shouting, "Turci! Turci!" which means "the Turks! The Turks!" This cry of alarm was tragically misunderstood by other soldiers, many of whom were from different parts of the Habsburg Empire and didn't speak the same language. Some thought they heard officers yelling, "Halt! Halt!" which in German sounds very similar to "Allah! Allah!" the Ottoman battle cry. The miscommunication spread like wildfire. Panic gripped the camp as soldiers, believing they were under a surprise Ottoman attack, began firing blindly into the darkness. Officers tried desperately to restore order, shouting commands that only added to the cacophony and confusion. In the dense fog, it was impossible to distinguish friend from foe. Entire regiments opened fire on each other, believing they were engaging the enemy. The terrifying sound of musket fire and cannon blasts echoed through the valley as the Austrian army effectively engaged in a full-blown battle with itself. The chaos only escalated from there. As the phantom battle raged, the army's cavalry corps charged into what they thought were Ottoman positions, only to trample their own infantrymen, who were fleeing in terror. Artillery crews, fearing they were about to be overrun, abandoned their cannons and fled into the night. Soldiers scattered in every direction, running from shadows and the sounds of their own comrades' weapons. The entire military operation descended into a frantic, disorganized retreat. It was a perfect storm of fear, miscommunication, and human error, creating one of the most absurd and tragic military blunders ever recorded in the annals of history. When the sun finally rose on the morning of September 18th, the true horror of the night was revealed. The battlefield was littered with the bodies of hundreds, perhaps even thousands, of dead and wounded Austrian soldiers. Abandoned cannons, muskets, and supplies were scattered across the valley. It was a scene of utter devastation, but the most shocking part was the complete absence of the enemy. The Ottoman army, the very force they were there to fight, had not fired a single shot. They were still 2 days' march away. The entire catastrophe was a result of friendly fire. So, how could such a disaster happen? Historians point to a perfect storm of contributing factors. The thick fog on that fateful night created an environment of zero visibility, making it impossible to identify anyone. The language barriers within the multi-ethnic Austrian army meant that simple commands were easily misunderstood, and cries of alarm were misinterpreted as enemy battle cries. The alcohol consumed by the initial group of scouts undoubtedly impaired their judgment and fueled the initial conflict. And finally, the powerful psychological effect of panic took over, turning rational soldiers into a terrified mob, where fear, not reason, dictated their actions. In an instant, misunderstanding turned allies into enemies. The Battle of Karánsebes, or what is more accurately called the incident at Karánsebes, remains one of history's most striking cautionary tales. It serves as a powerful reminder that in warfare, the greatest enemy is not always the one across the battlefield. Sometimes, the most devastating forces are confusion, fear, and the catastrophic potential of human error. The story is so unbelievable that for a long time, some historians even questioned whether it truly happened. However, contemporary accounts and military records confirm that this bizarre event did indeed take place, forever cementing its legacy as one of history's most extraordinary military accidents. History has a way of teaching its harshest lessons in the most unexpected and bizarre ways. The Battle of Karánsebes stands as a stark testament to this fact. It shows us that without clear communication, discipline, and a calm resolve, even the most powerful and well-equipped armies can crumble from within. It reminds us that chaos and fear are enemies in themselves, capable of turning the strongest forces against themselves in a tragic display of self-destruction. Thank you so much for watching. And if you found this piece of bizarre history interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories from the strange side of the past. We'll see you in the next one.